What's up, everybody? It's Chad. I'm back again another week of Ask Chad Grassy Logic. I'm here with my buddy Josh Villegas from Cruce's Craft Cannabis. Again, we're coming back with see what happened again. What's going on with Cruce's Craft Cannabis and get the update.
Well, first and foremost, I appreciate you. I always got to thank the team and everyone involved to make sure that I can be here because work is everywhere and we stretch out more than the average man. So, as you can tell, I don't do normal stretching, but business, intellectual.
100%.
But with that being said, shoot, we just been grinding, climbing mountains to find another one.
Nice.
So that's just life in general.
Nice.
Just trying to stay busy.
Nice.
Trying to stay busy.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is. I've been, working with them and everything, and staying pretty busy. For the people who may be new to the show, can you give them a little bit about who you are personally?
Shoot, personally, I'm an average dude. I like to say nothing special. I think I'm just blessed, to be honest. What it comes down to, I just work hard, just like everyone else. We chase dreams. It's either you help someone else build a dream or you build your own. So I look at myself as an average guy surrounded by good people, just like yourself, good sir.
Yeah, appreciate it. I will appreciate it, man. Well, yeah, for the folks who are also new, who may not know, who is Cruce's Craft Cannabis?
Well, we like to represent like not only us but the community. So our journey just started out making good medication. And if you've seen one of the episodes, I'd like to say like I've explained like our journey and how the plant led us all together.
Yeah.
And so pretty much that's our journey, and we just got here. So whenever legalization hit, we're just like totally blessed because that medical field and trying to get into the shops and get going was like it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it is. It's a struggle, trying to talk to people who have really big ego, and then talking to the people who are really humble. That's really nice. We're talking to the people who are very competitive. It's very interesting.
Right.
It's an interesting world out there, especially right now. But yeah, if you guys want to find out more, go watch that episode with Josh. I just wanted to kind of give a little lowdown. He goes in super depth of everything about goes. That was probably one of the earlier episodes, to be honest, of this season.
Yeah, to be honest.
Yes, and I was like, you know what, today might be a good day. Actually, unfortunately, my guest was going to be an old friend in the cannabis world, but he had a medical emergency, and Josh stepped in. I was like, what a good time to update everybody what's going on, because I've already offered Yendo Farms to come back on, so him and his girlfriend both can be on. So I was like, start doing some updates, here and there, see what everybody's been doing. And I'm glad that I can bring you back on, and you weren't busy today.
I was trying to take a nap.
Woke his ass up. So now that we're updating everything, what's some new projects that you got working on?
So one of the things that we've been doing is that we always talk about community, and so with that being said, some people might think that working with like other people might taint I'd say the level of production indoor, the final product of anything we do. But my argument to that is the community. We don't just want to bark about that. We're dogs with teeth, so we want to get into it. So we want to do projects and work with other farmers, other people. Obviously money and trade and whatever goes into that side. But I want to make sure that these farmers are educated to an extent so they grow and pretty much are ready to the manufacturing side, what to look for, specific cultivars and stuff like that to work with. We just want to make sure that they're well off, so when we're gone and they deal with other people, they won't have to be in a situation like I'm in a corner.
Yeah. Definitely 100%. And you've been handling it pretty well. And dealing with them. And what farms are you're really working with right now?
So the most recent one, to be honest, is Southwest Desert Gardens and Bird Farms. Also go by Kendrick Spirit Gardens or Farms or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's multiple farms on one. Everyone is great people. They gave us a chance. We worked with them, and we've came up with some good cultivars and some finds in there.
Yeah.
So, well, fuck it. I'll just fill you in. So we have 4 new strains out right now, and we'll start with Mandarin Kush, also F-Bomb, which is actually Forbidden Bomb. So when we made the stickers, you just got to make everything to fit the lid and stuff. The third one is, I'd like to say, Victory Jungle Juice. And then last but not least is El Paso Land Race.
Seems to be like a local favorite too, right?
It honestly, from the art to the actual end product, like people do enjoy it, or we just get good attention.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I've heard some people get offended when because it does have a El Paso smell to it. Like, like every place you go has a certain smell, and this one in particular happens to smell like El Paso. And you say, "What does that smell like?" I want to know. Go to El Paso and tell me. And Las Cruces has its own smell.
Right,
So that's just something. And yeah,
right,
sometimes it's kind of stinky here,
right.
but
Green chili and crackheads. We'll put the jokes aside. Let's get it done.
yeah, we just screw it. Yeah, but and this one in particular does smell like El Paso, and I really like it. Like it's not like it's a terrible smell. Like, oh my god, get that out of my face. And a lot of people take pride in it. When they say like, what, this is El Paso, cultivar. So that's really cool that you guys found that.
And I do enjoy the like say the design that we came up with. People do enjoy that. We're not from there, but it feels good that we can nail like designs on the head.
Yeah.
Also, another shout out to Ghost Genetics. Before I forget, this man has been breeding, putting in his work. He's a fellow El Pasoan. I don't know if I said it right, but he's done great work, and that's actually one of his cultivars.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and he looks like he's putting out some good stuff, and really showing hometown love because there's really no real land race in the Americas here in the United States.
Right,
It's
right.
just named that because I forget the reason why.
Well, to be honest, it's not a true land race. We'll just get that out of the way
Yeah,
for any
definitely.
questions. This particular one was just named that. I don't know. I feel it represents El Paso as far as the smoke, what it represents. Also, Ghost Genetics behind it, which he's a fellow El Pasoan. So I figured that it's a trifecta that would
Yeah,
represent. But
yeah,
I can't make that choice all the time.
yeah.
We just hope that it's good.
Yeah, and El Paso's a sister city to Cruces. There's a lot in common that we have, and don't get me wrong, there's differences. But yeah, it's great that we can represent that too. Because a lot of people that come to our market and that buy from it are from El Paso.
Right, 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 right.
you know,
I can't forget that.
yeah, a lot of the sales in the state are from Texas. So that's one big thing too. When they see that, it's part of the marketing thing. So it's amazing. But speaking of the art, who does this art? Because people seem to love everything that you guys put out when it comes to the art.
So the homie Quality Customs. You can find him on social medias from Instagram, Facebook, probably what X instead of Twitter now, and so on and so on. The man has paid due diligence. He's a hard worker. He grinds. Even when he takes a nap, his machine's still printing with that money. So he's really good. Whatever that you would need, either if you want to describe the art that you would need, he'll break it down from the bottleneck of confusion. And I always make this running joke where like sometimes I speak like autism, like and he's all like, "Oh yeah, that could work." So I'm all like, "Whoa, bro! Like you understood me." And me and him usually do the collabs for our work, but if I can't get to it or have time, he's really good about getting stuff done as well as the graphics. He really brings everything's like breathing the things to life. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, and I've heard him say that, I guess for certain artists, it's easier for someone to come up and give them the ideas and feed it that way, and then they just bring it to life. And sometimes that works great. It's like a little team effort. That's art sometimes. And it's great. It has a really good end result. Is what really comes out of it. Great product. Because I tout it all the time: customer experience, labeling, marketing. All these things come into play, and they're really important at the end of the day.
And then like the teamwork too, the dynamic is
Yeah.
very important because
Yeah.
from like an all day project from a couple of designs to like we'll sit down and like probably put an hour each depending on what it is to get it in and out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's definitely good dynamic, teamwork, and speaking your mind.
Yeah, definitely 100%. And where is Cruce's Craft right now and what stores?
So right now we're in Top Crop and Dark Matter. I would like to say the Southern Park, Las Cruces area, as well as maybe Albuquerque.
Mhm.
We're trying to go in Albuquerque and stuff like that. So be on the lookout. Other than that, we are, I like to say maybe Ruidoso as well, and Alamogordo hopefully soon. I think they ran out. Got to check up. Then hopefully we're making plans for Carlsbad, New Mexico. So we're just not just trying to stick to the area. We're trying to move around and spread the word. Billy Graham style or Billy Dab style.
As we would say, yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's important getting out there and it's putting that groundwork in and just getting the name out there. So I'm glad to see that. And if you guys are in town in Cruces, go hit up Top Crop. They have Cruces Craft Cannabis. Is there anywhere else in town? I thought there was one more.
There's some. I believe Empire Cannabis still has some of the OG flavors, which is cereal milk and the charcuterie.
Okay.
It might be like I'm terrible at this, so please forgive me. It might be like another spot. Oh, hashtag cannabis. Please don't punch me in the gut. A bunch of cool people, great products, good times. They have some of our products as well at their store, so please go check them out.
Nice, definitely, yeah. So if you guys are in town, there's a few places to check it out, but Top Crop seems to have the whole line of Cruces Craft Cannabis. So if there's something you want, they most likely have it, especially that El Paso Land Race. I personally do like that one. That's why I keep talking about it. The Mandarin Kush was pretty good. The Mandarin, I did like that one. But yeah, out of all of them, I did like the El Paso and the labeling. I think the T-shirts need to happen for that
one. yeah, we've been thinking about doing like some merch. We've been doing like small batches for the most part.
Yeah.
So I noticed that people have been asking like, "Oh, that's a cool hat." Probably not everyone, but like whoever comes up and they notice the gear, they're just like, "That's really cool."
Yeah.
Where can I get it?
Yeah.
I'm all like, so we did do a couple small batches. I think we still have like maybe a few hoodies. We're trying to actually work on that. So hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah. Hope to see some Coco Pele shirts,
Bro, straight the hell up. Straight the hell up.
Heck yeah.
So
Cruces Craft, it's just not just, one dude, not just you, it's like,
no.
Or your twin brother, but it's like a whole team of dudes, even I'm including this.
Yes, sir.
And so, who are some of these guys?
Shoot, we have a bunch of cool cats in the bunch. I'll just call them by first names. I don't think we gotta hide. One of the main dudes is Fras, great guy. One of the head growers, if not our head growers. He avoids the term master grower because it's like, who's really a master? So he just, head grower is good enough.
It's respectful.
Co-head is Randy. Randy does good work. He tears shit up all the time. Like, if we're busy, he makes sure to either get it done or reach out so we can.
Yeah, definitely.
You already met my brother. Awesome guy. Good looks. Can't tell you enough.
They look just like each other. Crazy how that works,
right? Philip is another guy. He's honestly a Swiss Army knife, man. Like, he can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if this didn't pan out, he knows anything from carpentry to electrician. But like, he's really good. He's grown. We've done many washes and stuff. Like, the man is a straight up soldier.
Yeah.
Anthony is another guy who comes in and grinds. Great guy, grinder, hard on the sleeve. So if says something that he doesn't like, you'd be like, "Yo, friendly fade, homie." Dang, I just don't want to forget anyone. Cozy.
Yeah, Cozy Boy.
Cozy.
Yeah, I can't forget Cozy Boy.
Right, and people already know Chad. Honestly, this man, Cozy's brought the craft rolling, and that's helped us out with our craft all around. You can't forget that this man has helped us with actually getting into actual legislative meetings.
Yeah.
Besides like city councils and stuff like that. We were struggling to even figure out where to go and what to do. So I was just we're just lost, and this man just gave us more guidance and organization towards that where it counts. Because without us being there, that dictates our future. So without that voice that this man says that we have, we're trying to express it, capitalize.
Definitely. And your product speaks for yourself, and there's a lot of people out there who see it too. So it's not just from you guys or just them making it up. This is a lot of the times I hear from it. And you guys get tagged in videos all the time. Like, go get that Cruces Craft. It's selling out. It sells out pretty quick. So go out there and get what you can. I don't know how long we'll have this El Paso Land Race around. So we'll see. That could be something that just is here and gone, or it could be something that we see all the time. So keep in mind.
Yeah, straight up. We don't mind working with other breeders as well as other farms. So if anyone sees this, don't be shy. Reach out. My number is, I think, on a flyer. If not, message me on the backup page on Instagram, which is Cruces Craft Cannabis, and that's with the Z. because we try to be about that biz.
Nice. There you go. And is that the only place you guys are found on the internet, interwebs?
In the interwebs.
In the
I like
interwebs.
saying that. We're also on Facebook. So we try to run it in house as far as like me and my brother, or whoever would run it. So other than that, we try to just be on different social media sites. Yeah, so Facebook, look us up. We try to post what's current as far as the stories or what's happening. So check us out.
Nice. Well, I appreciate it, man. And one more thing before we get off here. We actually have been doing a random project that just fell into our lap. And I think I mentioned it last week for a little bit, but you're here with me and you're actually involved with that, along with couple other people that we have along with us. And it's we're going to be, I guess, not inspecting grows, but it's more or less, visiting them, and then kind of more of a challenge for the grow. Do you have a good grow? Do you have a bad grow? We're going to go in and inspect it. We're going to do certain tests to see if you have bugs, look for mold and mildew. Between the three of us, we have about 30 years of grow experience. I think about something close to that, maybe 20, 25 plus years
Right.
Of grow experience in between the three of us. And then we have our homie Tracy, who's behind the camera. She does an amazing job.
Amazing.
And so she'll be with us as well. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit more because it's a really interesting thing that we've stumbled upon. I haven't seen it anywhere else. It's something new, and it could be something great for New Mexico. It gives you, the consumer, an idea of where your cannabis comes from. It gives more of a personable experience with the owners, with the growers, and it just brings us more united as a state, and more as an industry. Maybe this will also help. Maybe these farms need help. Maybe someone watching the show will have the means to help them in whatever way, and they can contact these guys. So it's almost a way of not only just showing that, but also trying to help these farms. Like, okay, we're going to show you this, and it's going to be a challenge, of course, and it's going to be seen by the public, but at the same time, we do want to help. But are you willing to show this? And people love full transparency. The first time we did it, it was really, it was received really well.
Right. Brand transparency is first and foremost, it's great.
Yeah.
It shows that you're not hiding anything. You're not pulling a David Blaine, like, look here while we scoot the shit here. So, yeah, it is very good. I like to say, like, the approach that we went to, we didn't want to, like, straight up bash anyone. So we left the comments to the viewers and stuff to, like, kind of point out what we looked through. And if it's major, obviously we will catch it and then show and explain the best of our ability to what it is that it is, the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we encourage different people to do that. We're building out our production, so hopefully soon we'll do one ourselves, just to not try to hide anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah.
But it was a great time. Everyone did a great job. Johnny did really good.
He did.
I felt we had a good plan, and the more people that we were with, we walked around because we didn't want to be, like, guided to a spot where they were purposely showing us where it's good. And so we just figured the more people, it's hard to follow. I mean, we're not looking for anything ill will. We just want to look.
Yeah, definitely. We'd go in a very unbiased opinion. We went in, we weren't like, oh, this is trash, this and that. We allowed the growers to speak. Even if it was something that I disagreed with, I kept my mouth shut. And there's even a point where I gave an explanation, and I just gave an explanation because people couldn't hear on the mic very well, and it was the explanation from the growers, and I stated that. And it wasn't something that I agree with when it comes to growing, so I stated that fact and I just walked off. For the fact that I didn't want to say anything else extra to ruin that, because we wanted the viewers to come to their own conclusion on this. Just kind of like my show sometimes, how I let you guys come to your own conclusion. I want to do the same with that grow. Allow you guys to come to conclusion. We're just out there to show you guys what's there. And if we find something, we're going to, looking for a little further into it.
Right. We can't approach it like Chris Hansen, how to catch a predator, because you see how uncomfortable people get. Like, sit here, buddy. Sit here.
Yeah. But, we're going to look at it. Oh, looks like we have some mites. We did, the first one we did find some bugs. So that was something we were able to educate the viewers on what bugs they were, what it looks like on the plant, what kind of remedies that certain people use. And that's where some of this stuff can come from. Maybe we could suggest something, or someone can get in contact, like I said, that could help them.
Right. Or leave a comment of maybe other tests that could be helpful to us on our journey.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be appreciative of that. We're not closed-minded where it's like, what the fuck do you know? Where it's like, no. If you have other tests that we can take that's not like a big backpack or machine, we're willing to try it.
Yeah, because we went there with so New Mexico State, if you guys don't know, you can do this in your own farm. If you take a jug, like a gallon jug, you cut the bottom off, and you use that, of course, clean it out, first before anything, clean it out. Make sure it's nice and clean, and sterilize it, and flip it upside down once it's dry. And you can go outside to your plant. Doesn't matter if it's flowered or veg. You put it in there, give it a shake, and then you take it out, and then you can put it on some paper or just visually look in there if it's a white jug, and you can see if there's any bugs or any kind of infestation or if there's dirt. Because we found some cocoa on these guys. Someone asked, like, how does cocoa get on it? Well, that it looks like they were either pouring cocoa. There's stuff all over this place. So there's fans everywhere, and it looked like it just got picked up. However,
the winds do get bad, so if
Yeah.
they got wet walls, I'm not saying as an excuse. They do have fans that pull in stuff. So that, like, there's different variables we tried to think of instead of just like call them out.
Yeah. We try to, either give the benefit of the doubt or, like, oh, what's going on here? But these guys only had that grow for 6 months. Like, they're kind of trying to turn it around. So, I mean, the fact that we found issues is one thing, but they actually have mitigated a lot of other issues and, kind of fixed certain things. Now, is it perfect? Far from it. But, it's one of those things that's a work in progress. And I guess their flower hasn't been on the market from what I was told. I'm not too sure if that's correct or not, and that's because it's not up to par.
Well, the head or assistant grower was saying that, right?
Yeah. That none of this was is on the market yet. It's not up to par, which it's fine. We did see the end product that is on the video. If you guys want to go check that out, it's on the NM Area 420 group on Facebook. It's open to the public, so you just go watch, and you can go check it out for yourself. That's the very first installment. There's some issues. We were live, so we're running into network issues, and we're trying to kind of pan all that stuff out for the future. But if you are, watching, you have a farm, you want to put your farm to the test, or maybe even see, hey, what the hell's going on with my farm? We'll come over and check it out. I'm not saying that we're master growers. I hope no one thinks they're a master grower, but between 3 different growers, I mean, I think we can, have a really good eye on there.
True. I don't want to bust anyone's chops with gas money and maybe place to stay type of coverage. Depending on how far out it gets.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we probably have to start with. But I don't think that's much compared to like the exposure you can get. This is actually like good for advertising your business as well.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't have to hide in the shadows and people don't gotta wonder what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what we want to touch base on that. It's something cool. It was really fun to do it, actually. I had a really good time. And I think the viewers had a good time too. To be honest, it looked like the comments were going and they were just having a blast.
The homies from Joints and Cardios.
They're busting jokes. Yeah. He was on one, man. Shout out to Rob. That was funny. But and he was very fair, in the end with it, so that was cool, to see that everybody was like, you know what? Yeah, shout out to them. They're trying, they're trying to fix it, and they've been really transparent. And I saw somebody said, you know what? The cojones on them for, allowing you guys to go in there like they did is just wow. So if you guys are out there, I mean, this farm allowed us to do all kinds of stuff and go in. And if you really want to put it to the test, you want the public to know, hit us up.
Right.
And this is one way you can put it to the test. So
for dang right.
Heck yeah.
Well, for one more thing, sorry, man. I wanted to show this before we forget. So we have this little side thing from our little side grows, which we'll talk about probably, or Chad will bring up in future podcasts. So Pinkies is one of the straight cultivars from Ghost Genetics as well. This man is on it. So if you see him around, tell him what's up. Chad, you want to take a smile? Kind of show it to the camera, my guy?
So he brought us some product today to show off a little bit. I asked him if he could. He couldn't bring like the whole line to show you everything, but it smells so good. You get check it out here.
Right, I'm all looking.
The camera doesn't really give much justice because of lighting and just the way the camera is. There we go. There's a good little angle. But it looks so good. Very light in color. Pinkies is one of the better ones that I like. And also, of course, the Tequila Sunrise. Yeah, I love the smell of this. He brought it in to show you guys, this is what Chris's Craft Cannabis product looks like, and what you can, really expect and everything from people. So again, here's the Pinkies. I love it. Love the labels. Shout out to Koala. Shout out to the homie there. That's dope artwork there.
Doing his thing.
Yeah, doing his thingy thing. So yeah, I can't wait to have you on again and see what other products come along, because I mean only a couple of months and now the line's up to what, 7?
6, I think. Let's see, yeah, 6 right now. Plus, I will say, as a little spoiler, we do have another project in the works for another little small batch on our end. So be on the lookout. Yeah. So any farmers that want to try to take a chance on us, we definitely want to prove our worth just as much as the next. So other than that, shoot, I mean, you see the work. We can help you get there.
Yeah.
It's not just blowing dad smoke up your butt. So
yeah, and there's also new pricing that you figured out and everything, right?
right. So we have different price tier brackets. The more you buy, the better obviously it gets. It's like Sam's. If you show up, buy in bulk, you get better price. So we feel that it's best represents the pricing in our brand. So hopefully we get out there more. Um, shoot, we like to thank the community and everyone that shit supports us. It's just unreal,
Definitely.
and the love is just crazy.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate you bringing the product. I appreciate you coming on the show again. And, I like doing this update thing. The last time I did it was with Gringo, but it was so soon after the first episode they were on. It wasn't much of an update.
Right.
So it's really cool to see, people coming back and kind of, circling back and see how things are. So, yeah, well, cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and let's continue this conversation, guys. I got a couple more topics for y'all. One kind of came up in the last couple of days. It looked like the city of Albuquerque, well, the city council, was trying to propose an outdoor grow ban, and it was from one counselor. And I got word before the show that it most likely was stricken down and kind of pulled from it. I think a lot of people complained, and which is good. You should complain about stuff like that. You should call in pissed off and be like, what the hell? And this is a prime example of what can be accomplished if we actually tell the government what we want, because they had no choice but to get rid of it because so many people were pissed off. But what this does, and I'll explain it. This was City Councilor Brooke Bassan. She represents the far northeast Heights. I have no clue. I'm not from Albuquerque. I know it like Mars almost. And she proposed an ordinance that would make outdoor growing illegal. So if you guys live in that area and she's a representative, I heard she's actually up for re-election in November. If you like or dislike how she's doing, you vote this November to decide that. If you want her to remain there, she is on the Republican side. Albuquerque's city council was mostly historically a Democrat, and it switched, I think, a couple of years ago. However, most of them are coming up for re-election, and so we'll see if that sticks or not.
Well, by her moves, she better move carefully.
Yeah, especially in Albuquerque. It's not like, rural New Mexico.
Right. That could dictate from that little area, bleed out to the states where I feel that it's honestly, I don't know what's next. Is like, you can take our speech away.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of my worries. Usually when Albuquerque does something, Las Cruces will follow after. That's what happened with the bag ban. Yeah. Albuquerque banned bags and plastic bags at the store, and now you have to pay 10 cents. Well, they got rid of it. Now Cruces did it, following them, and now we do that. So when something like this happens, usually that happens, and then it bleeds through the whole state. Or if Santa Fe does it, Albuquerque will do it after, and then Las Cruces. It's kind of like the testing bed for those two. So I'm really glad that this didn't happen, because sadly, when that does occur, other cities tend to follow suit.
Right.
I'm not sure why they do that, because sometimes it's terrible, and sometimes it just doesn't work for that area. You know what I mean?
That's why I have my opinions. Just like, okay, from free bags, then now I got to pay 10 cents.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like, the inflation's killing a lot of the people.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people get raises at their jobs. And so it's like, all right. But that's just me. That's my rant.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, we all have our, opinions on the whole bag thing. And that's where it comes down to, stuff like that. And that's where you should have your opinion. You should let them know if you agree or disagree with their decision. Right. But that could change things. And I'll explain that a little bit later in this conversation. We don't have to talk about too much since it didn't happen, but it's really important, the fact that we know when something like this is going to happen, when to show up, and even to just contact your city representative, your city councilor. Because if something like this pops up and you can have contact them, because usually you can call them or whatever, they're usually pretty easy to contact in the city. Tell them that this is not good and give them reasons why. My reasons: we don't do anything about the poop smell near the farms. We don't do anything about the oil smell near the oil fields. We don't do anything about tobacco smell, near people who are smoking or bars or anything. We don't do anything about any smell in the city. Like there's sometimes sewage smell in Las Cruces that, will seep out and,
go by the truck stop.
Yeah,
exactly. I know that's a septic area, but like, still, it's just like
by the dump, it just naturally stinks. However, cannabis, it smells, but it's not those smells. You know what I mean? It's a different smell.
I enjoy the cannabis smells.
I do too. I'm a cannabis user, so of course I enjoy it, but not everybody does. I get it. However, I don't think that we should be punished for the fact that they just dislike that smell. Like, I don't live near a cow farm, for
that reason.
For reasons. I don't live in New York City. I heard it smells. I heard that place actually really stinks.
Yeah, your neighbor is like literally less than like prison cell.
Yeah, dude, I can't be that close to people. It's not fun for me. But those are my reasons, and also mulberries pose more of a threat to the public than cannabis does. Like every year when the
Yes.
mulberries are blooming, I about die. When cannabis is blooming, I'm sorry if it's a smell that you don't enjoy, but at least you're not gonna die, or like have a possibility of having some infection or something because of the, all the stuff you got going on. So mulberries are more of a threat than cannabis plants growing, and I just feel like this city councilor was told by a couple of her constituents issues of smell, and then she decided to. Because if you guys don't know, and this is what I'm going to explain to you, it only takes two people for a politician to say my constituents for it to be plural, to go from one to two, right? That it becomes plural. So that's all it takes. So it could have been two people that caused this right here, this whole thing,
Could have been her neighbors.
Yeah, it could have been her neighbors, could have been her family, or it could have been the fact that, her someone she knows has ends with the grow and they're not doing well and they're mad at people growing at home because they think it's digging into their profit when it's really not. People that normally grow at home, they don't grow as much, and then they don't have as the quality. I mean, I grow at home, and there's times where I'm dry. Like I have times like that. It happens as a grower, and so I don't know what to say. There's times where I have to buy from the store anyway. It goes both ways.
But that goes to what you're saying, the importance of like voicing yourself, because these people are supposed to work for us. We vote them in for a reason.
Yeah.
So I don't think us not saying anything helps the matter other than being like obedient. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Got to critical think once in a while.
And I will say something on this, from my understanding that that actually wasn't legal due to the Cannabis Regulation Act, what's in it. And I have the law, like the two things listed right here, where I believe personally that, they just wouldn't be able to do it per the law.
Nope.
And right here it says, a local jurisdiction shall not, and then it goes down number 6, prohibit a person from producing homegrown cannabis as provided for the Cannabis Regulation Act. And so then I went up and I looked what a household means. Household means a unit and includes any place in or around the housing unit at which an occupant of the housing unit produces, manufactures, keeps, or stores homegrown cannabis or homemade cannabis products. So right there in the law, it states that a local jurisdiction can't even do that. So my fact is either they found that out, because every city council has a lawyer on there to make sure what they're proposing is legal. And she could have went up and said, hey, I don't think this is going to work. You're going to get sued. Or it could have just been such backlash that they said, okay, we're not going to do it. This is very unpopular, and it's close to election season, and we need those votes. So that's one thing that we have to keep in mind, that they work for votes, people. So if they understand they're not going to get those votes, they might change their mind. We might see this lady change her mind in the future too, if that's the case.
Right, it's like the 10 weed commandments right there.
Yeah, definitely. So I just wanted to update you guys on this. Luckily, I guess from my understanding from the folks up in Albuquerque, thank you for updating me. This didn't go through. I don't even think it made the agenda today. I think it was taken off. Thank God.
Probably
doesn't even need. Yeah, like we fought really hard for these rights, y'all. Like really hard. I was a part of this, and we need to keep fighting to keep them, because it only takes a couple people to ruin it for everybody.
Right. A smell, like you're gonna beat up the person, you're gonna get in a brawl in the elevator because someone farted in it.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's like smells are everywhere, and I'm sorry that we can't do everything about all of them. It's just, it is what it is. It's just, luckily we love the smell of bursting green chili. No one seems to have a problem with that. So that seems to be taking over everywhere right now. But no one seems to care.
That's when you know you're home, though. When you cross that threshold and your allergies bug you and you can smell the chili. You're like, oh yeah, I just came back from Florida, but I'm home.
It's great to be back. Yeah, but anyway, moving on. That's all I wanted to update you guys on that. This next two topics are going to be a little shorter. This next one is High Times goes public on the stock market. And they did this in a really interesting way. So it looks like High Times Holding Corporation has entered into an agreement to sell its core intellectual property to Lucy Scientific Discovery. They're on the NASDAQ already. So what they're doing is they're selling, all their IP to this company. And I think it's a way so they can get more funds. Because if you guys don't know, High Times has kind of been hurting for a while financially. And, with the way that they're doing their High Times cannabis cups these days, and they're going from state to state, and then most of them are online. And even the one here in New Mexico got, postponed to December. That's actually startling.
I like how they do the podcast and they're just like, well, we're not doing this for money, but how much are the judging kits?
Yeah, exactly. And they got slashed in price.
again.
Yeah, yeah. They got slashed in price. So yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it be for money?
Like, get out of here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, and I got this pulled this from an article, so I'll just read what it says. Pretty much, to you guys, it says this transaction effectively takes High Times public and provides its investors with a 19% stake in Lucy, along with milestone payments based upon profit growth metrics related to the High Times assets. So it's kind of tied into that company, not on its own. And it looks like, from what I was reading in the article, since High Times does have its own cannabis dispensary, that company and business is going to be a separate entity away from this one. So that's the way they get away with it. There's a way around things, y'all. Especially when it comes to the corporation stuff, and especially with Schedule 3 coming up on our horizon, or actually it was just suggested. We really don't know if it's going to be Schedule 3. It's just really rare for another government agency to go against another one.
Right. Like, at that point, it's like they're stabbing themselves in the back.
Yeah, or we could get lucky, and the DEA could look at it on a broader, spectrum than what it was brought to them, because HHS was looking at it from a medical perspective only. They weren't looking at it from an industry's perspective, or a perspective of where it comes from any industry. So the DEA could take that and say, okay, I like that, but let's look at the industries. Okay, there's such and such amount of states that have a legal adult use industry. If we do something to disrupt that, that could be billions of dollars lost in the future for us. But if we do this correctly, that could be billions of dollars for us done for today that we could have. Now, one thing that we will have to keep in mind is the DEA could totally screw us and not do anything. That's the options. They have the option to do nothing, keep it a Schedule 1. They have the option to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or they have the option to deschedule, which is something that we want and something that we need, because scheduling still has a punishment for the user, for the end user. There's still a federal punishment on there if it's Schedule 3. If you deschedule it, there's no punishment for it. And then the states come up with their own laws, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the federal government will come with their own regulations. You have the FDA and all that, and they have their own say and stuff, and HHS and all the other alphabet boys that are out there. They all get their say in it. And sadly, that's the industry that we decided to join. And this is what we're being dealt with. Now, there's a way things are and a way things should be. Do I feel it's going to be descheduled? I feel there's a 10% chance of it being descheduled. I feel our cards are just going to be on Schedule 3 for now, and that's just the way the government works. They want to work in steps. It still screws us, especially us end users at the border checks here in the borderland, because here in Las Cruces, I can't go any direction without hitting a border check. And I haven't even left the county sometimes, and they ask me if I'm an American citizen. So the only people it keeps safe are the people who don't live in this area, so it keeps them happy at night, I guess. So we get to suffer for that, and we get to continue to suffer if this goes to Schedule 3. If it gets descheduled, then we don't have to worry about that anymore, and we can just go about our day and just tell them, American citizen, leave me alone.
Because even the rescheduling might come with repercussions that we probably won't see, as far as updated regulations to whatever standards is the new entity, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so for us little small businesses, mom and pops, what if it's something financially we cannot accomplish?
Yeah.
So that would in turn make us obsolete, I feel. Is that a Dr. Doom theory? I can't say, but that's one of the fears that could be in play if
it's fair.
Reschedule.
Yeah, no. The rescheduling comes up with a bunch of fears. There's a lot of unknowns, and I kind of feel that the government is still kind of figuring it out themselves what this actually means, because this could also possibly mean that some of these companies could be on the stock market come to Schedule 3. We don't know yet. That could be a possibility, because banking is unlocked with this. The banks will be able to work with them, because the drugs that are on Schedule 3, most pharmaceutical companies sell, and they do banking with them. So
even
I'm sure
descheduling would lead to that too.
Yeah, exactly. Descheduling would literally make all of these issues so much smaller. It would make this process so much easier, because now we already have this CBD, hemp, cannabis, THC confusion going on, where the 2018 hemp bill pretty much legalized cannabis, but then there's these little tiny things in it where it's not, and it's really confusing. We could really stop the confusion by just descheduling.
They pretended they didn't already accomplish another prohibition stoppage, which is through alcohol and JFK,
exactly,
shit like that. That's what I'm all so how do we not know?
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, we're kind of ranting on that, because this is huge coming out with about rescheduling, and something like this we could see a lot more of. There are some cannabis companies on the Canadian market And you can go through that. I think Ameritrade, you'll be able to go to their market and buy it on there. But if it deschedules or even reschedule to a certain number, not sure what it is, we're still figuring it out. That could still be the case. Now we want descheduling. I don't know what companies are going to be on there, but I can see quite a few jumping because the stocks actually jumped up for those when the HHS made their decision. So stocks had already jumped up. And now with something like this, I can see them jumping up again because this is an opportunity for people. If you love high times or whatever, you can have some liquidity, opportunity.
Right,
with this.
be an actual part of them.
Yeah, you can be a shareholder. So of high times. And I guess that's something cool. If you're into that, if you want to do that, that's up to you. That's your decision in the end. If you like it, if you don't like it. But yeah, High Times looks like they sold their IP to this company, and I guess we're going to see them on the stock market here soon. So if you guys want to see if that does well, put your change to it. So that's another way that people like to make money is the stock market.
All right, we'll see how it goes because the way that they're moving without people complaining, I felt like they wouldn't take the steps they did now.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
So
but yeah, that's all I have on the High Times thing. It really wasn't too much on it. It's pretty cut and dry. They sold their IP, and now they're going to be on the stock market and a little more not private. They're going more public.
I feel if you want to lose money, do that.
I mean, what do you do if you're already bleeding?
Right. Let's just throw more blood at something that's dead.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, there's that for that. The next topic that we're going to have, the last one for the day. So that Minerva explosion that I talked about a couple of weeks ago, we got some answers about what happened, what's going on, and the whole crap with that. So it looks like, so if you guys didn't know, Minerva has a manufacturing plant near Bernalillo in northern New Mexico near Albuquerque, and it looks like they were operating without a valid permit for the New Mexico Environment Department, Cannabis and Hemp Bureau. So yeah, it looks like they also didn't have the right licensing. They may have had the right licensing through the CCD, but it looks like this permit actually started of April of this year that they require. So it looks like they also require another one through them, so that way they can make sure you're safe. And honestly, it looks like the reason why they did that is to prevent something like this from happening. I get it; it's another step, it's another entity that you have to go through. But maybe if they went and inspected, this wouldn't have happened, But I don't know. This could have went down to employee training, improper use of equipment or equipment malfunction. I'm not sure. And because it says there are one of 3 manufacturing facilities in New Mexico that received the letter from the environmental department. One was in Carlsbad, Silver City, and then Bernalillo. So most of them were in the south. Y'all stop messing up. And the other one is that one, unfortunately, that had that explosion. It looks like less than 2 weeks before the incident. I guess the producing blah 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 blah. Where is it? It looks like they were told by them to kind of stop. So maybe they went and kept going. So it's crazy. It just kind of baffles me that this is still happening. And this is the 3rd time it's happened in our history. This is sad, but it looks like they weren't doing things right at all. And that goes down to it, guys. I get it. We don't like the fact that we have more stuff to do sometimes and more paperwork, but you kind of need to, because now they have a civil penalty up to $500 for each violation. And of course, now the CCD can come down and put them out of business. So just do the right thing. Have the right licensing. It's a really big deal if you're not manufacturing with the correct licensing. I'm sure you can talk on that too a little bit.
Yeah, we have a type 3, which is like solventless. We can't use any combustible gases. We tried to avoid stuff like that, because if you work in a place called the boom boom room, and we're not talking about Ray's boom boom room from life, like it will take you out of life. Yeah. So the precautions are definitely there for a reason. I know that sometimes the steps suck, but with that being said, like, rather be safe than sorry. Let's do it right, or don't do it at all.
Yeah.
At least with solventless, if we mess up, it's mainly because of either the product or too much ice. It's either on our end, on the light end, or it's the farmer's end. That's what it comes down to. But no one gets hurt other than feelings on a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, you maybe get hit with a paddle. That's probably the most on accident.
Be a creek without a paddle.
Yeah, you may get a little wet. It's like, ooh, sorry. Those rooms are cold. I will admit that, but it's not going to blow up from being cold, or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, keep that in mind. And hash rosin seems to be a little bit more popular these days. I seem to like it. I know some people don't like the lipids that are in it, and guys, fats and lipids are the same thing. Lipids means fats. So yeah, the lipids are in it, whatever. But it comes down to personal preference. Like what do you like? What do you not like? If you like, full spec, if you like, CO2 extraction, if you like, CRC, that's your thing. That's what you like. But not for everybody.
Right. I just think there's residuals on both ways of extracting where some labs like this one who did things poorly, where some of them do they actually purge what they need out versus if they complain about lipids and the rosin. That's the only thing you can really complain about. At least it's not any type of solvent gases or whatever residuals in there.
Yeah.
And that's why we went that way, because like you said, my body isn't speaking healthy, but my lungs thank me because it's as natural as we can get as far as smoking.
Yeah. And just to update you guys, so it looks like the environmental department confirmed that Minerva was working within the parameters of the enforcement action and continue to manufacture cannabis products at the facility. I guess they're going to remain on the enforcement watch list until they're properly permitted. So they're at least allowing them to keep going, and they're just watching them to make sure that nothing happens again, which that's kind of cool. They could have just shut them down totally and said, you guys are fucked, whatever, screw you. But it looks like the government entities in the state are really trying to work with us. So don't take their kindness for weakness. Yeah, that is not what the situation is. They're just trying to help.
Honestly, they should buy a lotto ticket.
Yeah, you really should. You guys are really lucky. Yeah, you guys got really lucky on this one. Especially the poor guy who got burnt, unfortunately. I hope he's okay. I hope he heals fast. Yeah, I hope he recovers fast. He's getting back to work, and I hope it's not something that's going to just damage him for life. He can't, his mobility is
right. I seen like Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger. Like that shit does not look cool.
No, it doesn't, and no one wants to go through that. And
No.
Unfortunately, there's been people in the state who have gone through similar, where they got like 30% of the body burnt and everything. And that's a real thing that happens, and this has happened in the state. We don't want to go through that again. I know I've talked about this a few times, but it's a serious thing. If you guys are going to be doing solvent extractions, you need to be as safe as possible. Like you are literally extracting in a boom bomb room. Like I felt safer in Iraq with IEDs than I do with a boom room, like to 100% honest. So just saying how dangerous that is. So but anyway, guys, that's it for the Minerva explosion. That's pretty much all the information from it. It looks like they are getting the permit. We'll see what happens. CCD still has, a say in it. This is just another government entity, so we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. This came from the paper in Albuquerque, so it came from a news article. I think I have the article on my Instagram, so if you guys want to read it, just go to my Instagram stories, click through. I got all kinds of articles of today's topics, actually. So there's a little treat for y'all for your watching. So if you want to go check that out, go over to the Invader Kush Instagram profile and check it out.
Is it also on New Mexico?
Yeah, I also did put it on the NM Area 420 page. So if you want to go through there, I didn't put as much as I did on Instagram. It's just mostly just a link. You guys can go read it and everything. So those are pretty much all the topics of this week. Some of these were kind of important. Some of these are kind of like, oh, well, that's the times are changing. Ever since that Schedule 3 announcement, things have been kind of weird. So it's only going to get weirder, guys. Nothing's going to be normal this time. This going on further. But yeah, why don't you get us out of here, buddy?
Hey, man, appreciate you having me. Appreciate you being part of the crew. Chris's Craft, we don't preach community. We actually want to be in there. So, like I said, don't be shy. Holler at your guy. Let's do some work. Let's do great things. And again, thank you for updating not only me, but all of us on the important issues. And until again, next time, we are out.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. Shoots. Good job on that.